I'm here with Jeff J. Hunter. And as always, we start with a funny opener. So my funny opener to Jeff is, what is the most savage thing anyone has ever said to you?
Savage. Well, since I'm all about marketing, I'd have to say one time I posted a picture online that went viral, and I was I was in my office here in my studio, and my sister had come over, and I was giving a webinar. I was kind of doing something like this on a webcam, and I was standing up. I have one of these sit-stand desks. This thing can go up and down.
Yeah.
And it was really hot. And this is back before the days when LEDs were actually affordable. So I had those big old CFL, those fluorescent lights aiming at me, and I was just so hot. They couldn't see anything down below. So I just took my pants off, threw them up on my desk. And my sister came in. I have a glass door. She looked at me. She's laughing her butt off. I'm in a sport coat and a button-up shirt, giving a lesson people paid thousands of dollars for me to do, and I'm in my underwear. My sister takes a picture of it. I grabbed the picture. I posted it in this group called Quit the 9 to 5 or something like that, which has like 40, 50,000 people in there. And it just takes off, and people are dying. They're laughing. It was my first like viral post. It was in like 2016. And I got approached. This is the savage thing anyone ever asked me so far, especially since I don't think I fit the persona when you see what they say. They said, dude, that's really funny. We're really trying to break into the entrepreneur community, and we'd like to sponsor you as one of our underwear models.
I love it.
And I was like, I mean, at that time I was still kind of new in marketing. It was 2016. And I thought, that's pretty savage. I mean, I don't know if I represent exactly what most people think of as an underwear model, which is probably why it worked. But here it is, I guess 4 years later, and I'm still wearing their underwear, which is a testament to them, sock and sack. I don't even know if they're still around. But that was probably the most savage thing anyone ever asked me was, would I wear their underwear?
Brilliant. But you're far more professional now.
Yeah, I'm far more professional. I'm in my underwear right now.
Yes. I love it. Absolutely love it. Okay, so more on a more serious note, what's your actual story that brings you to this point in your career, underwear and all?
Wow. I had a background in project management. I've been in IT all my life. I've always loved working on web and graphics and things like that. Now, mind you, I'm a horrible graphic designer. My team did all this. My team does all the things that I make, my team makes.
Brilliant.
I won't take credit, but one of the skills that I've developed in IT and project management doing projects was I was always able to kind of find the right people to do the job. And I kind of garnered the nickname, the King of Outsourcing, back in 2017. I made some incredible connections working with some really top companies to help them build their own virtual teams. And I kept having a recurring theme pop up, which is most of the companies that wanted my help were actually trying to hire teams to help them develop their lead generation, sales, marketing, and that was pretty much what it was for. So I said, well, maybe I'm looking at it the wrong way. Maybe instead of building virtual teams, maybe I should look at it from a results base. Like, how can I make people more money? How can I build out specialized skilled team that can do branding, marketing, lead generation, all that kind of stuff, from funnels and all that. And ever since I made that switch back August of 2018, that has like catapulted my business. I've got to work with some of the most incredible people out there. I don't want to be a name dropper,
Sure.
But bottom line is what really took off was for me a mental switch in my head from just building a team and helping people do stuff to putting together a really awesome team that gets results. So I think results, I know it's very easy to say I get results. Everyone says that they get results, but I think that would be the catalyst that really took off.
Brilliant. So can you just explain what you actually do now?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, now I own a virtual team, a branding agency. We're 100% remote. I've got over 50 people on my team all around the world. We do anything from branding to marketing to web design to funnel building to data scraping. I mean, you name it. It's all geared towards building and scaling agencies. I also work with a lot of personal influencer brands, so people that have a large following and that are looking to monetize the following. For me, I personally like working with people that already have kind of a head start, at least 10,000 to 100,000, in their network. And I have some other options for people that don't have quite the following yet to help build that and stuff. But I really enjoy working with personalities.
Okay.
I like working with people that have really bold personalities that are that aren't afraid to use and leverage their personal brand to become more of an influencer in their space.
Yeah.
So that's what I do. I work with a lot of people to help them become like the influencer in their space.
So you help other people, but you yourself seem to have chosen Facebook as your main platform of choice, even though you're freaking everywhere. You come up on my, go on.
I was going to say, Facebook is where I'd say right now, I think Facebook right now is in its prime.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's other platforms that are developing, like LinkedIn and TikTok. I know it sounds crazy to say TikTok, but like that platform's been taking off. I checked my notifications today. I'm like I just started a TikTok account like 30, 60 days ago. And I already have a video that has almost 500,000 views.
Wow.
Just a video I posted 2 days ago is over 10,000 views. As a matter of fact, I don't know how good you can see it, but I have a really nasty scar right there.
Yeah.
I actually found out that I had a cancerous mole last year, and I had it removed. And I was just scrolling on TikTok, and I just saw this guy who had a funny video with him and his wife, and she was like popping a pimple on his back. And actually the video is really funny, which is what attracted me. It says, what date is like before you get married? And, they're going to the movies, holding hands, French kissing. And it says, what date night is like after you get married? It's like Netflix on the couch, pimple popping party. And it showed her popping a pimple on his back. And I saw a mole that looked a lot like mine. Actually, it looked worse than the one that I had, and mine has a nasty scar.
Yeah.
And I got obsessed when I found out that I had, a melanoma. They call it a asymmetrical, atypical melanoma. In other words, it's like a malformed mole. Guys, by the way, it's racist. If you're white, skin cancer loves you. They're very racist. Get checked, guys. If you have moles that are dark on the bottom of your hand, that's how he found out, by the way. There was a really black mole on the bottom of my hand. He said, that's not normal. If you have moles that are growing on the places of, where the sun doesn't shine, it's a really big indicator that you're at risk. Wow. So I had this removed. And when he was looking at the rest of my body, he found this one here on my arm. And he said, oh my God, this one's even worse. And it was. So what was really interesting was that when I saw that guy's video of his wife popping a pimple, I saw the mole and I said, I just reached out to him. I felt like I was obligated because I got obsessed with it. I knew what it looked like. And I said, that looks like what I had. I sent him a message, and I didn't know what to expect. It's TikTok. He's had 100,000 plus followers. I'm just another guy, random guy. And then I realized on TikTok, you can't send a message to somebody unless you're friends. So then I was like Googling him. I found his Instagram account, and I sent him a message on Instagram. And then 2 days later, he says, hey, this is crazy. And I sent him a picture of mine, and I showed him what it looked like. And he was like, man, yeah, I think this is, do I need to go to the doctor now? I'm like, yeah, you should go to the doctor now. Yours looks worse than mine. Lo and behold, he made a TikTok video that just went viral a few days ago. And it's called How TikTok Saved My Life. Wow. And me and another doctor reached out to him and told him that looked really bad. He went to the dermatologist. They took a sample. They did a biopsy, took that mole out, found out that it was actually turning into cancer. Then they gave him, now they cut his whole back up. He's got like a good 5-inch scar on his back where they took it out. But the doctor said that we saved his life. And that video went viral on TikTok, has over 2.3 million views as of today. And he just sent me a message on Instagram over the weekend telling me that NBC reached out to him to get my contact information. So this is the power of social media. And the reason I brought that up is because it's not so much about the platform, it's about how you use the
Mm.
platform. And for me, I think Facebook's at its prime. It's really great for business, but I see emerging platforms like LinkedIn's really starting to take off now. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you're on it a lot. You see that
Yeah.
they've added a live video to LinkedIn. Now you can post videos and images, and which is things you couldn't do before on the platform. Um, and right now, LinkedIn 2020 is like Facebook was in 2012. You know, like it's the wild, wild west. You post something on there and it can go viral so easy. I'm constantly and consistently, and our mutual friend, I
Yeah.
Zhang, we're just constantly, every single post I do seems to be trending on LinkedIn. Like every week I'm trending on LinkedIn. So I wouldn't say like I'm all in on Facebook, but I think Facebook is a place you have to be right now.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, those are the big three. I really like TikTok because right now that's like the emerging market and it's easy to go viral on TikTok.
Okay, so there's two things there. One, before we go on to a little bit deeper into Facebook, what is, if any, have you got a strategy on on TikTok? Sorry, bear in mind it's new. What are you doing there?
So it's very interesting because it's a short form platform. Videos that are 10, 15, 20 seconds long, 30, it can go up to 1 minute,
Right.
but it really rewards short form content. In other words, stuff that's really short. The age demographic is very interesting too. I think the majority of the time spent on TikTok are 17 to 25-year-olds. I would even say it's probably more like 16 to 25-year-olds.
Mm.
But what I really like about that is I'm actually trying to bridge into a younger generation and show them how to build their brands online. I'm putting together a bunch of low-end offers, you know, some really good courses and things like this one here that's free called Social Profile Secrets, which is just how to optimize your Facebook profile so that you can, instead of just going on there to watch cat videos, you can actually use your Facebook profile to generate leads and sales and establish yourself as a expert in your industry online. So I think that the person that wins at TikTok is going to be the one that can appeal to the 15 to 27-year-old. And also you have to have a plan. You have to have an intention. So I see a lot of people, the ones that are doing really successful business-wise, they're like entrepreneurs, people that are in e-com, people that are, you know, even coaches and things like that are popping on there. I see a lot of therapists that are going on there talking about, you know, how to be happy, things like that. So it's, you know, people always say, well, how are you monetizing TikTok? Well, it's an audience.
Mm-hmm.
People say that about Tai Lopez all the time. People say that about Jay Shetty all the time. Jay Shetty, another great guy, and I had the pleasure of interviewing his business partner, Alex Kushner, on my podcast. You know, it's about the audience. And here's a sound clip for everybody. Everybody is looking for an audience, and that's why it's so important that you build one. And that's the goal on all these platforms, is just to build a really solid audience of people that trust, that know, like, and trust you. That way you can actually have real influence. Real influence is when you can actually impact the decision-making process of someone else. That's what influence really means.
Mm-hmm. Just moving back to Facebook then, because I find TikTok like really interesting, particularly with what's going on at the moment. And like you say, getting that attention and the organic reach of TikTok is undeniable at the moment, if that's your right audience. Facebook's moved away from that organic reach, or from what I can see, it's moved away. If you were looking to build,
so has Instagram.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So if you were looking to build an audience on one of those two platforms, how would you suggest we go about that?
So right now, I'm actually using TikTok to grow my Instagram.
Okay. Right, there you go.
That's the best use I've seen of TikTok so far, because now it's very hard to get traction on Instagram, and Instagram ads, just like Facebook ads, are getting more expensive.
Mm-hmm.
And there's just more saturation in the ad market as well. So what I'm seeing is, how am I leveraging LinkedIn? How am I leveraging TikTok and these other platforms to build your own ecosystem? And here's what's really cool And this is the best way to use Facebook, by the way. Facebook groups.
Ah, okay.
So I've been a power admin working with Facebook's development team, working with their Facebook groups people. Shout out to Amanda and the rest of those guys at Facebook. I was actually featured in the official end of year wrap up in 2017 for Facebook's video. But Facebook groups is an incredible platform. And right now, if you open up your cell phone and you look at your notifications on Facebook, if you're in Facebook groups, half of your notifications are going to be from your groups. I dare you. You have your phone on you? You have your phone on you right now?
Yeah.
Open it up. You know what? I bet you I will. Hold on. I'm going to get this. First, I'm going to show everybody my underwear.
Yeah, I know. Marvelous. Yeah.
Boom!
Do I get some kind of commission
Hey-o.
for? Hey.
Look at that butt, yo. You thought I was kidding. But if I go on Facebook right now and I look at my notifications, I can see right now that 3 of my notifications are from a Facebook group. I'm not even kidding. Oh, hold on. So I have 1, 2, 3. So out of my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 messages, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, there's 4. I didn't notice that. So you guys, I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see this because it's kind of like fuzzy.
Yeah. Sure.
There we go. But see those little ones with the blues? Those are actually Facebook group notifications. So basically half of my notifications on Facebook, on my Facebook phone, and it's the same on the browser, are group updates. So I'm just going to throw another one out there. I got another bomb for everybody. Everyone always talks about these, red ocean, blue ocean. They talk about big fish, little pond. But let me tell you something. What's cool about building a group, a community, is that stuff's a joke. Why wouldn't you just cultivate your own pond? Just when you build a Facebook group and you invite people to join the group, you're building your own pond. The fish are flowing in from wherever. And by the way, like this guide right here that I give away for free for anyone who subscribes to my podcast, the very first thing it does after it tells them to, after they download, is to join the Facebook group. To join the Facebook group. So when people come into the Facebook group, guess what happens? Now you are in a pond. No, even better. All your fish are in the pond. They're coming from wherever your different sources are: TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, wherever. You're inviting them, your podcast, your email list, whatever. You're inviting them into your Facebook group. And then all of them are in that pond. All you have to do is be the fisherman outside of a tiny pond with the only person holding the stick. That's it. Right? Like,
yeah, there you go.
Why would you even want to be a fish and have to fight with other fish? Like, bring the fish in, whip out your pole, reel them in. They're yours. And I know a lot of, sometimes I get a lot of flack from people. They're like, well, I don't like to treat my community like that. I don't like to. Hey, look, this is a business. Social media is a business, guys. And it's a big money business. Everyone's on social media. All these platforms are just amazing. And if you have a great audience, you can leverage it to sell your products, to get people to sign up for your services, to get people to subscribe to your podcast, your email list, join your Facebook group. The goal is to become a trusted authority and source that people can actually rely on. Mm-hmm. Now, I can't help you with that rely on piece. That's got to be your own. You actually have to be able to be helpful and valuable to people. But if you're leveraging social media the right way, you're cultivating and you're building basically a raving fan culture. And that's what's really important.
But the thing that frustrates me with those people that might give you flack is the fact that you're providing a service, a valuable service. Like even this conversation we're having right now, the amount of content and valuable content you're just providing, it's almost like if you don't do that, you're doing us a disservice. The people in your group, you're doing a disservice for not offering these things, even if it's paid or given away for free. It doesn't matter. You need to do this for the world.
You know, when I first started doing this, I came from a very place of, I came from the corporate world, Peter.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like
Don't we
in the
all?
corporate world, by 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 training and by experience, it's a very scarcity driven mindset. In other
Mm-hmm.
words, you're always afraid of someone else getting the next promotion, not you. You're always worried about making other people look too good. You have to stay good. So when I and also you're afraid of giving your time away for free, you know, like even saying that giving your time away for free is a scarcity mindset.
Mm-hmm.
um what I've learned as being an entrepreneur, I'm actually a very new entrepreneur. I left my corporate job. Matter of fact, this will be officially my first anniversary because I left my job. I put in my resignation letter on leap day, February 29th of 2016. So this is the
Yes, I
first
love
leap year,
it.
2020. So even though I've been gone, this will be my fourth year.
Brilliant.
This is actually my first year technically on the 29th. But when I first started becoming an entrepreneur, I was always worried about giving away for free, things like that. And what I found is that the more that I give, like this took me a week to make, Social Profile Secrets. It's simple too. It's a 5-step guide how to optimize your Facebook profile to become a recognized industry expert in your field. It just goes through, like, you know, how to tell people who you are and the right profile picture, and how to just present yourself online right. It's not hard. It's very simple. The training's 18 minutes long. You know, I
Mm-hmm.
recorded it in one go. I didn't have to do any edits or anything. But when I do things like this, it's like giving people that, oh, Jeff has given me something really valuable. And if Jeff has given this for me for free, I can only imagine what I'm going to get if I pay him.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And that's the goal I think that we should all have in our minds is, how can we live from a place of abundance? And I know I sound like a Tony Robbins guy. I've been doing a lot of Tony Robbins stuff lately, but it has really helped my own mindset. And I've learned that if I live from a place more of contribution, where I'm able to contribute more to society, more has been coming back. The more that I give, the more that I get back. And it's funny because in the beginning, I used to think, well, the more that I give and expect it back. But I found that the most I ever get back is when I give without the expectation of getting back. That was a huge moment of realization for me just in the past, like, 16 months. It's
That's
just
so
realizing
valuable, that.
just how important it is to give with no expectation. Because I've learned, and you've probably been burned by people in the past, where I've loaned money to people that I expect to get it back. And what I felt was crushed when they were avoiding me. And then it took me a minute to realize that was probably the best investment I ever made, to remove people from my life that really didn't value me.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I know that's a really hard truth, but there are people in my life that I've loaned money to over the past 15 years that I've never seen again. And it was probably the best investment that I've ever made.
But it's strange the way that, and I don't really want to go down that rabbit hole of corporate world and freelancers and working for yourself and everything. But it's strange that we do live in that world of it's almost negativity and trying to, like you said, hide away so no one else is better than you, that you get that promotion and things like that. So much so.
Especially, and you know what, especially in the coaching space, oh man, in
Wow.
the coaching space, it's like piranhas.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad I'm not in the coaching space. I see it all the time, you know.
But
And that's why that's why I enjoy owning an agency with packages and deliverables. Here's what you're going to get. You give me this amount of money, here's what you get. And I'm always about over delivering. So when people are done with me, they're like, yes, this was awesome. You know, like all of our, and you know, Ryan Dice, the founder of Digital Marketer,
mm-hmm.
he's an incredible guy, a huge mentor to me. Man, he's just been so monumentous to me just over the past few years. But I had an interview with him not too long ago. Wow, it's over a year ago now, where I just asked him about how he's been so successful and what the biggest tip is for entrepreneurs. And he told me that when we start working with somebody in our personal life, professional life, whatever, our relationships always start out transactionally.
Mm-hmm.
We expect something, we give something, whether it's money, time, whatever it is, and we expect someone else to do that back, whatever we agreed on. And then depending on what you expect and what you actually get out of it, that kind of sets the stage for the relationship of its entirety. If you pay someone $1,000 and you feel like you only got $100 worth of time, of value, then from now on, you're always going to think that that person's less valuable than they think they are. And by the way, it goes the other way around. If you only pay someone $100 and they give you $1,000 worth of value, then every time you think about your engagement with this person, they're going to say, man, whatever I pay, I'm just going to get so much more value out of.
Mm.
So back to that contribution, right? Like, how
Yeah.
can you position yourself to be that person who's always giving more than what even your value, what you own, what you think your value is?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think one thing that I want to move on to is the fact that if anyone is connected with you in any way, shape, or form, and that's pretty much the whole world, but if anyone is connected to you, they'll see.
We are. It used to be what, the 6 degrees of separation. Now it's like 1 degree. With
Yeah,
Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, like somebody you know or somebody else, somebody that you know knows somebody that can change your life.
Wow, that's a powerful statement. But if they are connected to you, they'll notice you appear in their feed like all the time. Like I was saying before, you're every freaking where. How do you do this? Because a lot of your content, a hell of a lot of it, is yourself. So how do you position yourself so you are over these platforms?
You know, I get that question a lot. And the number one thing people tell me is, Jeff, I don't have time. Somebody, it kind of left me a little bit speechless. Somebody last year told me that they didn't want to be me. They didn't have time to be me.
Okay.
And I was like, that's weird. You know, like it kind of hurt for a second, but then I was coming, you know, of course I was defensive place. And then I just took some time to think about it. And I said, people that say that they don't have time, they're full of it. It's actually, everyone has the same amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that they're not prioritizing what their time is spent on. And for me, what I found was that I set a habit. Humans are creatures of habit. And it's always, humans always go back to a pattern unless they have something to replace that pattern. And this is what I've learned in my own physiological, like the stuff I've been learning here, you know, like just in the past year, I've been really trying to focus down on how can I be a better human. Now, I have areas I lack all the time, like my fitness. I can't tell you last time I went to a gym, okay? I haven't created that habit. I did in the past. I lost 70 pounds in 2014, 2015. And then I went back to my old habits.
Mm-hmm.
I went back to Carl's Jr., okay? Now, I have made a habit change in my life that every day I set 35 minutes aside. It's usually about 35 to 45 minutes, depending on what I get done, to write. That's it, to write. And that's how I've become known as an expert copywriter worldwide. I can't believe I would ever even say that. It's still weird because I just really got obsessed over it just a couple of years ago. And here I am, you know, being asked to teach it on stage at, you know, some of the biggest of America and internationally. I just went to Singapore with and Todd, and it was just mind blowing. You know, I got to teach copywriting at a top university, you know, as a guest speaker. Like, it's still setting into me, you know, but I set aside a habit of about 30 to 45 minutes a day of just writing something. And usually in that 35 minutes, I can put together 2 to 3 different posts. And I'll tell you, in the beginning, it was not easy. It was like one post. I'd be like, dying. Right. And that's why I came up with this cool little hack. It's called the clear copywriting method. So everything that I post now that I write is actually using the same formula.
Okay.
And what's cool is the formula works for everything. It's all about piquing people's curiosity. It's called clear. Curiosity, leading them in with value, drawing them in with emotions, making them feel emotionally invested in your story, analyzing something that helps you build your authority and expertise, and then reaction. How are you working to call You know, a lot of people call in marketing, they say a call to action.
Yeah.
On social media, what's more important is the call to reaction. How can we get people to engage and continue the conversation in your comment section? That's why I show up in your feed, by the way, Peter. It's not because like I'm, you know, some amazing guru who has 100,000, million followers, because I don't. I show up in the Facebook feed and the Instagram, the LinkedIn feed and whatever else more than these people. Why? Because I have truly engaging content that isn't the age of social media anymore. It's the age of conversation. I'm setting up the post to continue the conversation in the comment box. See, the content doesn't stop at your post. The content stops when people are done commenting on your post. That's all adding to your post. People don't think about that.
That's interesting. I've never heard the whole social platform be put like that rather than a call to action, so to speak.
That's the key. The key to being dominant on social media and showing up in the news feed every day, which is probably what I do for you, probably on multiple platforms, is because I create really vivid conversations. And a lot of times my content might be polarizing where, you know, I'm asking for opinions on both sides. Sometimes I'm making a statement and people are either saying, hey, that's really great, thank you so much, or people have things to add to it. But what's interesting, people don't cultivate, you know, we talked about building the pond earlier, right? You have to build a pond, but if people are in the pond thinking that you're about to fish them every day, they're out, they're skimping away, right?
Yeah.
But if you have your pond built and you're going in there and you're just throwing food pieces, bread pieces inside the water all day, well, they can't wait to get more bread pieces. When they see you, they're going to be so excited, right? And when that bread piece is dangling on a hook at the end of the day, they can't wait to jump on that hook because they trust you and believe you. So that's the analogy that I try to use, because Facebook is such a great platform. All of them are great platforms. It's just about how you use them. Except for Google Plus, which died. It's not a good platform.
yeah. I wouldn't advise anyone.
I still haven't been able to figure out Snapchat either. It's dead to me. I deleted it from my phone. But the truth is if you can cultivate and make people feel safe and comfortable and make them feel rewarded, when people come to me all the time, oh Peter, I'm going to drop a huge bomb for everybody. I hope that everybody, because they're maybe at this point you're like, well, Jeff, I'm really discouraged because I don't have 10,000 followers on Facebook like you do. I don't have 12,000 or whatever followers on Instagram like you do.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have 500,000 video views like you do on TikTok. You don't have to have a community. You don't have to have a huge following. What you need to do is have a targeted following. Okay. So here's how. You can actually do the work. Okay. You can go out. In the beginning, this is what you do. Who are the people that you know that you want to work with? Let's say just 10 people. 10 people that you know that would be an ideal client or customer or whoever for you, right? Somebody that you'd love to work with. Add them in your network, right? First, do something like this. Go through and optimize your profile so people can actually know what you're about. Because a lot of people, they just try to connect to people and they look at your profile and you have like a picture of your dog as your Facebook profile. And they're like, I'm not going to add this guy, right? So get your profile hooked up. I'll give everyone the link if you want for this.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll put it in the notes as well.
Yeah, it's just savagemarketer.com, just my podcast. You go there, you subscribe, you get it for free. But what's really interesting is you can go out and read what they're posting. Read what they're posting. And instead of saying, thanks, good job, love it, putting a like, engage with them. Put some time into a comment that actually stimulates their mind and says, wow, this person's actually cool and intelligent and read my stuff and values the things that I put out. It's amazing how much you get back from people when you put out something amazing. Start building relationships with people. And the way to do that on social media is to go out there and engage with their content and start that conversation. It always comes back to what I said earlier, starting the conversation. Social media is about starting conversations.
I always link it to networking when I'm trying to explain that. And I say that if you go to, I don't really like calling them networking events, but if you go to an event where there's loads of people, you're not going to walk up to somebody and say, "Hi, buy my stuff." It's not going to happen. You're going to talk to them. What are they interested in? What do they like to do weekends? What do they do for business? All those types of things before you even talking about what you can provide, the problems you can solve for them is crucial. But you need to know them first.
Can I give you some credit really quick?
Yeah.
The reason why we're on this podcast right now, why I'm on your show, and you know how crazy my schedule is the next couple of days.
Yeah.
This is for those of you that are listening right now. I know that this is going to post on some random day, but this is a Sunday at noon in America. Okay. And you're all the way on the other side of the world. Just got back from a soccer game, Manchester versus Liverpool, the big one. And your team won, right? Liverpool.
Oh, yes.
and we both had a crazy schedule. We were both super late to the call because we both have things going on in our lives. But the reason why I made this happen was because you gave a lot of value to me and one of my good friends, who I support her Classroom Without Walls program. And you were sharing all her LinkedIn lives. You were commenting to people live. You were helping her stage questions that people were mentioning in LinkedIn. You asked for nothing back. And
nope.
For me, when I look at the people that I want to associate with and who I want to help promote things and I want to do business with, or even just spend time with, because as our lives grow, more and more people want our time, and we have to be very careful with that time. It's valuable. I knew that this was a no-brainer to come on your show because the value that you bring to the table, and it was, and because you helped me already. I mean, it would be stupid of me to say no, because it would feel like it would be horrible. It'd be like if someone was bringing you a snack every day, a coworker was bringing you a snack every day, or giving you their, banana every morning or whatever. And then one time they say, "Hey, I'm going to have lunch over here and I forgot my lunch today. Do you want to just go get some lunch with me?" How would that person feel?
Yeah.
If you didn't go and oblige and have lunch with that person, right? So that's the thing. And I think reciprocity is so important, guys. And when you're doing things out there and it's going to come back to you. Never worry about what is going to happen. Sometimes I just do things. I get invited to events and I go, even if it's out of my budget, even if I don't see like the value right then and there. If I'm asked to speak on a stage somewhere or whatever, like I have done definitely a fair share of non-paid speaking gigs. And I've done a lot of gigs where they paid me a small amount or reimbursed my flights and stuff. It's not every day I get paid, really well to go to speak. And, that hasn't really been the thing that I do anyway. Actually, I don't like speaking on stage. But I've done it because I knew that I would be contributing to them and that it would also help build me as well. So
I appreciate your kind words, and you just bang right, because I didn't expect anything from I was just happy to help her and happy to work with her. Simple as that. And me reaching out to you and like you just saying yes, absolutely straight away. It kind of blew my mind a bit.
And I know how busy the time on your calendar the next day.
I know. Yeah, exactly. It was last night, and I was sat there, and this morning I played soccer, and then I went to a soccer game, 2-0 Manchester United getting, and then I had to explain to my wife that, I'm going to be on a call at 8:00 tonight as well. So sorry about that, but because your time's precious, my time's precious, and I appreciate you so much for coming on today.
Absolutely.
So I know I'm conscious, very well, I am conscious of the time and your time, massively busy person. And like you said, it's a Sunday. So I want to wrap this up with some quick fire questions, if that's okay with you.
Let's go.
Brilliant. So what would be your go-to resource of information? Where do you go for any kind of info right now?
So I have a hit list. Okay. I've got about 10 different people that I really respect that either I work with right now or that I want to work with.
Mm-hmm.
that, just like I said earlier, is that I communicate with all the time. So I'm either commenting or reading their stuff. I follow their stuff online. And that's really the only time I really have to consume content anymore. I feel like I create a lot of content now, like we're creating this right now. You know, like this backdrop right here is going to get packed up as soon as we get done here.
Yeah.
And it's going to be packaged up into a little box so I can go shoot a podcast for someone who's visiting from the UK.
Wow.
So I spend a lot of time creating content, building and creating guides and training and stuff. So the time that I have to consume is very limited now. So to answer your question is, I have a hit list of people that I respect, that I want to work with, that I feel I learn a lot from, and that's where my time is spent the most effectively. And I also do a lot of in-person masterminds, personal development events. You know, Tony Robbins, a lot of the people that I work with. You know, they have their own events that I go support and speak at. And when I go to an event to speak, I actually go there to learn as well, because my speaking is only like 1 hour. So like when I'm there to learn. So osmosis.
Brilliant. I think consuming content, it can be that keyword. It can be all consuming as well. And you go down that rabbit hole and it's really hard to get out of, because that's what social platforms are. That's what they want you to do. Simple as that. What was the last thing you Googled?
This is going to sound so vain.
I love it.
So last night I found out that I'm verified on Google.
Okay.
So the last thing that I Googled is my name.
Yes, I love it.
It's actually, no joke. I'm laughing right now because right here is the link. Let me show you. Oh man, this is too funny. You would ask that question. This is, by the way, this is not an arranged question, y'all.
No, absolutely not.
I just pulled up my Google search history, and there it is. Jeff J. Hunter.
Yeah. Oh,
right
yes.
there. And see at the very top, there it is. Boom. So right there is my my official Google listing. Let's see. Anyway, I just got verified in Google, so now I just actually had one of my friends, Janelle, tell me that I was verified on Google because she was doing some work for me. And lo and behold, I searched myself to see me pop up in Google. So
great work.
Very narcissist.
Love it. Love a good narcissist. If you could tell your 10-year-old self one thing, what would it be?
Wow. I would tell my 10-year-old self that I needed to learn outside the books. I needed to, and I want to thank my grandfather who passed away in 2016. He was really the hook, line, and sinker that gave me the strength to leave my work when I worked at Phillips, because my grandfather was actually on his deathbed, and there was a third time they denied me to transfer back home. I took the position. They told me that I'd be able to move back home after 2 years. It was in Portland, Oregon. I lived in the Central Valley near Sacramento. And 4 years later, I was denied my third request to go back home. And knowing my grandfather was on his last leg, literally, I made the decision. I just made the decision to go, and I ended up living with my grandfather for the last 30 days of his life. And getting emotional, but he always told me that if I wasn't self-educated, that I'd always end up, being somebody's bellboy or something, that, no matter what the position was or how it was. And that's what my life was. Even when I worked at Philips as a senior project manager, the senior most, I was really just doing everything for everyone else. And I was never able to work for myself. I was never able to expand my own horizon and develop who I am. And I think that's a very important piece of having a valuable life, is to understand your own value.
Wow, cool.
And probably I would tell myself to spend more time with my family.
Right, that's cool. I really like that. And my nan was my hero as well. So everything I do, I always think, what would she think as well?
Well, you asked me before the podcast episode if I go by Jeff Hunter or Jeff J. Hunter. So the J stands for Jesse, and that's my grandfather.
Brilliant. Absolutely.
So after he passed away in 2016, I pledged to use his middle name, so I go by Jeff J. Hunter now, and it's just a reminder. My son's name is also Jesse, named after him. So.
That's fantastic. I love that, and I know you're getting emotional by it, but it's almost like a positive emotional thing, because that tie, yeah, absolutely. But that tie you've got there is so strong, and it must be so motivating for you as well. But he's never gone; he's right there with you. So that's just really cool. So
that's good.
2 final questions. Most important questions, really, for me. First one is, what is your, and this sounds a bit weird after that great conversation we've just had. So I'm glad you're laughing, because it's kind of cutting through the tension there.
All right, I like it. I like quirky. Let's go.
Okay. What's your favorite piece of Savage Marketer merchandise?
That's funny that you say that, because I just had 4 t-shirts made yesterday by my team, or Friday technically. But one of them, which I'm going to be releasing next week, I'll send you one.
Oh, wow.
So
Wow.
I'm huge. I'm huge about virtual assistants. I love virtual assistants. I wouldn't be able to have the life I live if it wasn't for my team of 50 plus people. I have my own, shout out to Miles, who's my own executive assistant. She organizes my life. My wife sometimes gets mad because, she knows my life better than my wife. But I have a shirt, and it has a lemon on top, and it says, "When life hands me lemons," and underneath it says, "My virtual assistant deals with that." And then it has a poop emoji.
I like it.
So when life hands me lemons, my virtual assistant deals with that shit. Excuse my French.
Brilliant. Fantastic. I love it. Great way to end. Final question, though. And this is the crucial one. If people want to find out about you, everything you do, the free content that you provide, or the courses that you provide for free, or even the paid ones, which you've admitted yourself will be, for what they're getting, will be massively worth it. Where should they go?
You guys can check me out at savagemarketer.com. That's the podcast. And also my own personal website, Jeff J. Hunter. And now that I'm verified on Google, I guess I can finally say Google me.
Google it. Love it.
Yeah, just jeffjhunter.com. It's just such an honor, Peter. I like I said, I'm just so happy that you were able to take the time out for me. And for anyone who's listening to the show right now, you want to consume everything Peter does. He's such a giver, and he has such incredible talent. Not only for you, but you also have amazing talent on your show. And I just want to thank you for having me on. It's a real honor and pleasure.
No, Jeff J. Hunter or Jesse Hunter, I think we should finish with.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure.